What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Shopper channel, coming to you with a Friday end-of-week edition of MLB and NBA Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you. That way you become apprised whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Had 24 games to break down here on this Friday. I'm exhausted, but I put in that work, Devin. Don't give up. Another one. DJ Khaled. That's a great commercial. But anyway, Bet365 is a great website. You should be checking them out because, well, you bet 5, get 150. We'll talk about that a little bit later here in the program, of course. But promo code Lindy5. If you guys want to check out Tails for $5 for an entire week, you just sign up for the week and you put in Lindy5 when you sign out. Some people had to figure that one out today, but that is okay. That is okay. I know, understand. Sometimes I'm just not operating correctly either, but I was operating correctly again on Thursday. MLB, just an absolute smash. A little tilted by the start here of the NBA card just because, well, injuries on Jacoby Walter and turned an ankle. I didn't have anything on Ant, so that was good, but as a fan, that was tilting. And then, well, we need a little bit more Denny. He had 14 there at half. Hopefully he can get us across the finish line, but we're going to not dilly-dally too much here on the onset. It was really nice to get 2 of the 4 home runs in the early window. Maybe Corbin Carroll goes yard here in the ninth. That would be fun. We got the grand slam from Perdomo. That's not for me, but just in the world. You catch the parlay if you put the under and the over together yesterday. Oh, yeah, we're dilly-dallying. We can't do that. Producer Jacob, it's the freaking weekend, baby. Friday. Let's get to the picks. Baseball is starting a little bit earlier than normal here on the Friday because, well, kids get out of school. We want to take them to the ball game. Everybody's excited to have baseball back. I'm surely excited to have baseball back, especially when my bets are hitting, which my bets have been hitting. That's very fun. Really, really fun. Premium Discord, come kick it. But anyway, Jack Flaherty on the bump. Minus 125 for over 17.5. Feels a little bit thin right now, early in the season, but it is the White Sox on the other side. And I want to emphasize this too. You're getting into a much more pitcher-friendly ballpark. And Jonathan Cannon on the other side, I think he has a little bit of success against all the righties in the Detroit lineup. Don't know how I feel about Kerry Carpenter and Riley Green from the left side. I think he's going to have a little bit more issues there, but Jonathan Cannon, decent stuff. 210 expected batting average in that first start, just 12 batted ball events, but gave up that barrel. Same thing, Jack Flaherty, insanely good stuff right from the get-go. Goes and wins a World Series with the Dodgers and then comes back to the Detroit Tigers. What a time to be alive. San Diego taking on the Cubs here. It is a weather spot. And when we get to Wrigley Field, first time we've had Wrigley Field show up this season, it's basically the first thing I go to every single day because I do think as soon as lines drop, there is a way for you to be able to have a massive edge. Now, there is wind blowing way in. It's going to be freaking freezing, Mr. Bigglesworth there at Wrigley today. And that is Shodi Imanaga. Really good opportunity for him to show out. But I do think Randy Vasquez has some improved stuff. Really good first outing. Let a couple more balls in play than I would want, but almost all of them were weakly hit, 18.8% hard hit. Like, this is good stuff so far if you are a Padres fan overall. Just good stuff overall because they haven't lost yet. The A's taking on the Rockies, and this is also Coors Field. So we go from one of the most, weather-affected ballparks in Wrigley Field in baseball, the most weather-affected park in baseball, to the best hitters park in baseball on a normal day. It is cold and wind blowing in, 40 degrees potentially at first pitch. We just got to get roofs on stuff. I know it's nice to have outdoor baseball, but not on April frickin' 4th. So just throwing it out there. Oh yeah, on the other side for the Athletics, they're going from that absolute bandbox. Now, it's not going to play that crazy. I think the humidity was up, but remember, the summer in Sacramento is not exactly going to be cool. You're going to see a lot of runs. We're going to see some 10.5, 11.5 totals there, I think, going forward, especially if what we saw in that Cubs series comes to fruition more and more and more as we accumulate sample size. But Ryan Feltner versus Osvaldo Bido. Not the biggest Bido fan in the entire world, but under 10 because of the environment. I'm not going to bet it. I'll just observe. The Yankees taking on the Pirates. The Yankees, nuclear, loved getting that over across in 4 innings. That was pretty darn easy. Just hit the easy button on both those totals. Actually, the Twins sweat on under 7.5 was the sweatiest of sweats, 5-2, and we just had to hold on for dear life. But Twins bullpen, pretty darn good. Haven't seen a lot of them because they've had weird game scripts. But we got Pittsburgh and we got the Yankees. You got the Yankees. We'll have to take a look at the bullpen and how it comes to fruition in this 8th, 9th inning. So I don't really want to be betting this or putting your hard-earned money out there, but it is Max Fried against Mitch Keller. I think both of them, comeback Keller, as I like to call him, because he had a better last 2 seasons after mean, I've been doing this for almost 5 years now, which is just insane. Just insane. All right, now I'm feeling old. But Judge, live walk. I do think these are kind of the ways that you have to play Aaron Judge. How are teams still pitching to this dude? He just keeps hitting bombs, but he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud in San Francisco because it's opening day for them. Yay. First time for San Francisco to see baseball today. Over 7.5. It's a little bit thin for me considering the starting pitcher quality. Luis Castillo and Justin Verlander. Yeah, how far is he going to pitch into this one? 16 batted ball events. Decent enough strikeout stuff with the, you got to set up the four-seamer, pepper the strike zone, and then he's got slider change curve. I really want to see the pitch mix a couple more times before I start going gung-ho and trying to like fire up some of his K-props against a Seattle team that I think is going to strike out a lot, but I think they're going to put bat on ball a little bit here too. And wind blowing out, although the ballpark is muted for weather. They did a really good job of building that thing because otherwise you just see balls flying out of there. Barry Bonds style. They should juice them up. Anyway, we got Corbin Carroll for Arizona. Anytime you see a righty that I don't like, you're probably going to see me nominating Corbin Carroll into the home run category. We ended up betting him there in Yankee Stadium up against Carlos Carrasco. Of course, it's Perdomo, dude, who ends up going yard. But I want to point out Jake Irvin. I know there was that back and forth with the guy last year. I was just like, I still don't like his pitch mix. His results were really, really inflated last season. Like, I don't even know what to tell you. 4.31 expected ERA, 4.41 ERA. And somebody just wanted to let me know how good he was. I was so confused the entire year. His numbers regressed hard in the second half. 9.15 expected ERA in that first outing, 3.608 ERA. Ooh, we're going to be targeting him here early and often with lefty power. Oh yeah, continuing on, we got the next slide to the left, slide to the right. Two more. The Rays taking on the Rangers. This one is a little bit strange to me, and I do want to bet this one. Like, there's something that is going to exist. I'm just like looking for what it is here in Arlington. I don't know if it's the roof that's kind of throwing things off, or Tyler Mahle, the fact that he gave up 1 barrel and 4 batted ball events that he had there to start things off. Again, Tyler Mahle. I don't know what to make of him, but 11.43 expected ERA could be more of a bullpen situation. And Zach Littell had an awesome debut. One of the better debuts you could have had for, a guy who's been in the league forever. It's weird. He's only 29 years old. I swear to God, I thought he was like 40, but whatever. He's been in the league since 2018 it is. So he's 22 coming in, throwing baseballs around. That must have been fun. But he had to be in Tampa Bay. That's less fun. Anyway, Cincinnati taking on Milwaukee to round it out from the lean category. Before we get ourselves to the plays, want to give you the information. The boss need the info, all that good stuff. But this one's really unappealing because Nick Martinez is on the bump. Not my favorite pitcher. Went over to Japan it was. Found and reinvigorated his career. Came back to the States. Found some kind of form over the course of last year. 3.19 expected ERA. Really, really good stuff. I just don't believe it entirely. He has no fastball velocity. He gets way more swing and miss than you would expect for a 34-year-old with no plus offerings. I'm not sure what to make of it. However, we don't know the starter on the Milwaukee side. There's about 3 guys that they could shuffle through. We'll find out in the morning. I'll readdress it then. Alrighty, y'all. Let's get to the likes. But first, Bet365. Bet 5, get 150, friends. If you haven't checked out Bet365, it's available in these states: Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Illinois, Louisiana, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, and North Carolina. Come on and raise up. Take your shirt off, twist it around your head, spin it like a helicopter, and then get yourself $10. You deposit $10 at Bet365 at the link below. You bet $5 on anything with minimum odds of 500 or minus 500 or greater. So any favorite on the entire board here for $5, and you're going to get $150 in bonus bets to fire over the weekend at Bet365. It's a really damn good deal. Plus, some of the best odds in the entire industry at Bet365. So if you're in one of those states, check it out. Only if you're 21 and over. If you have a gambling problem, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. To the picks, can we get the like button just for the 2-0 Lindy's video MLB sweep for you? We'll see how things come to fruition in the NBA streets. Not looking pretty so far for me, but NBA has been just a cash cow for a month for us, so I'm not going to complain too much. Anyway, St. Louis, they are decent dogs here, plus 126 going up against Boston. And I have 3 props, I have 2 money lines, and I have a total. I believe that is exactly what we've got here out of the 6 plays that are on the slate here for the 14 MLB games. And this one feels a little point chasey. What do I mean by that? Well, the guy just hit 3 home runs, and I talked about him explicitly, made a point to talk about him, took my time 2 days ago to talk about the difference between Pedro Pages and starting catcher, everyday catcher, Ivan Herrera. This guy I have on like every fantasy team. I am pretty confident that he is going to have a huge season for St. Louis. And now you've got a much improved ballpark. However, the green monster lingers out to left. And if you watch those 3 home runs, they were pull, just absolute jacks out of St. Louis. Their first catcher in St. Louis Cardinals history to hit 3 home runs in the same game. It's pretty crazy when you think about, like, Yadier Molina was there forever, although Yadier Molina, much more known for his defense than offense. That is a fact. Stone cold, signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours. But we got Eric Fetty versus Walker Buehler. And if you watched Walker Buehler last year with the Dodgers, there was some good, there was some bad. It was mostly bad until he ends up closing out. Yes, he gets the winning save for the Los Angeles Dodgers, gets the ball, goes out on short rest. Absolute baller move by Walker Buehler. But look at his numbers early on this season. He's throwing cutter, sinker, four-seamer. He is definitely one of those guys that I think is a candidate to have an amazing season or a horrible season. And I have no idea what to make of it because you go through his velocity. You have to really look at velocity after these first couple of bats. And I don't always talk about it here because you should just assume that I am doing that work for you. And if I'm not, I should probably get fired and move on with my life. But his velocity is down 2 miles per hour from last year. 2 is a massive difference. He was averaging 93 on his four-seamer, which he only threw 14 times for what it's worth. Sinker basically is also an inversion of his four-seamer. That was at 92.9, so same damn thing. But last season, 95 miles per hour. The four-seamer, I mean, we're talking a drastic difference in pitching mix. And man, he didn't have a successful year last year. So this just might be a candidate of one start is just a little too loud. And the Rangers, well, we saw them go into Cincinnati and get knocked around, or what's the opposite of it? Because nobody did any knocking in those 2 games. 1-0, 1-0. But I look at this as Ivan Herrera's season. Over 1.5 total bases, plus 146. Just a guy that I believe in. A guy I absolutely believe in. Hit it up against that wall, young man. Yeah, we're going to call a green monster double. That'll be fun. Toronto taking on the Mets here. I have another player prop and a guy that I think is on the opposite end of the spectrum here from Ivan Herrera. I mean, he kind of goes more into that Rafael Devers category. Who am I talking about? It is the one, the only, Anthony Santander. Now, he got acquired from Baltimore. He was like the big acquisition here for the Toronto Blue Jays. Him and Matt Scherzer. Again, Matt Scherzer's on this team. I always have to remind myself that. But anyway, we've got 1 barrel now so far for Santander through 123 pitches that he's seen. 1 barrel in 123 pitches is not a good ratio. That is a 5% barrel percentage when you calculate the fact that like 20 batted balls in play. 11.7% was his barrel percentage last season. He has only a 30% hard hit now through a couple of games. He had a 41.6% hard hit. This is massive regression. I expect things to get better. I just thought that things might get better. But we got ourselves an interesting one with Tyler McGill. Man, my Tyler McGill. 31.6% K rate right out the gate. 12 batted ball events here. Again, 1 start. You don't want to overreact. Even Walker Buehler, I'm not going to go crazy and target every batter just because he had 2 miles per hour down. Sometimes these pitchers that are building up are guys who have injuries. It takes them a little while to get going. Teams are just finding their footing. And if things get really off the ropes, they bring in a lot of relievers because you can do that. You're allowed. They still don't have that stupid rule they talked about last year. But anyway, we had a 3.59 expected ERA, only had the 1.80 ERA. Again, 1 earned run there right from the get-go. I do expect Tyler McGill to have an okay season. Kevin Gausman looked a little bit better on the Toronto side, but that's neither here nor there. I like Santander at this short of a number. Over 0.5 hits, minus 146. Yeah, wind's blowing out to right here, and from the left side, he's hit better average over the course of his career, switch hitter. So I like this one. I think this is a nice parlay piece for the people. I'm playing it straight, but I understand some people don't want to have the vig craziness. Just don't play it outside of minus 160, please, and thank you. We got ourselves a money line. This one's as straightforward as it gets. The Dodgers, the Phillies, and yeah, it sucked not to get the run line lock across. That was a bummer. So now 1-1 there. Dodgers on Saturday, run line cash. Don't get the run line cash because Shohei Ohtani. Why couldn't Pages just like get on base, just walk him or something? Because you knew Shohei Ohtani. Everybody could feel it. It was his bobblehead night. They kept talking about it. He gets up to the plate. and Showtime was just in full effect. The guy is just ridiculous. But let's not undersell the fact that Blake Snell, they had 2 errors up against him. He ended up having no error and 5 runs, and they come back from 5-0 down. And now they're going to travel cross country to take on a Phillies team that's played the last couple of days. The Dodgers got the day off on Thursday. That means every single bullpen arm at their disposal was Alvarado had to go out, their lefty southpaw out of the gate there. That's somebody you probably want utilized up against Ohtani and things of that nature in the clutch. But he had a pretty rough go of it, even against Colorado there. Colorado made it interesting coming down the stretch. If you were watching that game on Thursday, I surely was. But I think this is just as clear cut as it gets. Give me the fully rested Dodgers bullpen. Give me the ridiculous lineup at the top, specifically Shohei Ohtani. He's pretty darn good. Michael Conforto against righties and things of that nature. We got Jesus Luzardo, a southpaw out there. I get that that's not the preferred side, but some of the weaker hitters in the lineup, whether that be Chris Taylor if he gets a day in there, Miguel Rojas, Teoscar Hernandez, Pajes. I mean, Teoscar Hernandez is an absolute stud. Kike Hernandez, who had an amazing postseason, but overall, still not somebody that I think is going to have a 538 expected slugging going forward. All those guys will have the platoon on Jesus Luzardo. So I think this sets up really, really nicely for them. And Yamamoto, I am more than willing to back him after what I've seen from his stuff in the early going of this season in Japan, then getting his start over there in LA. He is a fully operational Death Star right from the get-go, 34.1% K rate. Give me the Dodgers money line, -134. Hey, maybe parlay that with Santander to get a hit. That's good times, but I didn't do it. I just played it straight. Sweaty balls. We could do like the SNL thing, sweaty balls. Spencer Schwellenbach on the bump for the Atlanta Braves, his sweaty balls. Going up against the Miami Marlins. I'm not going to do that bid for too long because it is not my own. Anyway, we've got Mr. Meyer. Yeah, you know the guy, Max Meyer. He's good times, Max Meyer. But Schwellenbach on the other side is elite. 6 innings pitched. Only had 1 hit against him against the Padres. They should have won that freaking game. Last year, though, he was unbelievable, too. 25.4% K rate, 3.44 expected ERA. And I think we're getting a little bit of a hometown discount here. Comes back into Atlanta. He's already capable of going 6 innings. And he only had the 4 strikeouts, but that was against the Padres. This is a Marlins lineup that I know they haven't struck out a ton in the early going, but they're going to. Had a hiccup. That was awkward. Spencer Schwellenbach's even money to go over 6.5 strikeouts. Yes, please. I need water. My wife, I need water. Hiccups. Next game. Next up, Baltimore taking on KC. Feel much better, see? Now I'm hydrated. Everything's good. We got ourselves Baltimore money line. I don't really have a lot to add here. It's a +102 money line early in the season. Dog when it shouldn't be. I have this closer to like 54% Baltimore considering their bullpen, higher quality. Once again, we're not even going in the first 5 market. And then I think there's a starting pitcher disparity. I like Dean Kramer more than I like Seth Lugo by a pretty considerable ways. Dean Kramer came around to him a little bit at the tail end of last season. His hard hit, he found ways to reduce it. That was always the issue with him early in his big league career. He was giving up 45, 46% hard hit percentage. Like we're talking bottom 10th percentile in baseball. And now 35.4 last season. Now 40% through 80 pitches there last time out, 81 if I'm being exact. 2.98 expected ERA. Got pretty unlucky in that first start to, get hit up to some extent. So I think it's just like a very loud sample size. He had the 6 strikeouts, 5 1/3. He had to take on Toronto. They had 5 earned. They shouldn't have. It was all basically one swing of the bat that got it done. I feel really good about Dean Kramer. And then Seth Lugo. I've never been a Seth Lugo guy. I will never be a Seth Lugo guy. He gives up fly ball contact. He continues to just be unimpressive as a 35-year-old. Last year, he had a career year for Kansas City, 3.75 expected ERA, but it was such a blip on the radar. 2019, he did have amazing stuff, 2.43 expected ERA, but a lot of people were like saying him and Skubal, what are we doing here? Cole Reagans was the main guy. He's still your ace here for Kansas City, so just give me the Baltimore money line. Oh, and Gunnar Henderson expected back in the lineup. Double check that if you are interested in such things. But it's a pretty big upgrade over like Udias or some of these other guys. So Baltimore money line, yay. One more play. Cleveland and LA, we're heading to Angel Stadium for the first time. I always like seeing stadiums for the first time in a year. It feels nice. Now, this one's weird because it's like OC moms and like a marine layer that comes in and clouds the place. However, Lefty Power's been playing up. But Shohei Ohtani's gone, and Mike Trout is good, but like he's not peak of his powers, Mike Trout, and probably gonna play with kitty gloves on to just make sure he doesn't get hurt this time around. And then you get Gavin Williams, who I'm not the biggest fan of, but I think that there's a case to be made that he will find some success. It's just that Jose Siriano might actually be really, really good for the Angels. So I like both starting pitchers. And when I like both starting pitchers, and I think the Angels have a pretty decent bullpen, they have guys who throw it 100. Mr. Joyce throws it 104, 105. That's a real thing. Look it up. Jose Siriano, 4.14 expected ERA last year, 3.42 ERA, pretty large sample size over 1,700 pitches. I like the mix. I like the ground ball rate more than I like anything else out of it. Give me the under. It's supposed to be pretty chilly. The wind is blowing out to start at the game, so if they can get by the first inning or two, wind just dies and Marine comes in. It's the late night hammer, and yeah, under 7.5. Pretty straightforward play for me. -110 at BetMGM. Let's get to NBA. But first, Portfolio AV 7-day free trial down at the link below. It is the best market-based tool that exists in the entire industry. It is really good times, friends. It is really, really good times. And if you like good times, and if you trust me, which hopefully you do after this run of the last month, oh boy, have we been hot, and really hot to start off the MLB season in the home run department in the premium Discord. The props that I'm posting on X at Eric Lindquist. Well, Portfolio EV is a market-based approach that does so much better data stuff than I can do on my own. Gives you way more plays, lowers your variance. I'm adding it to my repertoire every single day, as should you. And it doesn't matter what state you're in, no VIG, Onyx odds, everything available in California and Texas and Florida and all these great spots. So no matter what, 7-day free trial. Check it out over the weekend for the college basketball Final Four, for the MLB, for the NBA, for every sport fired up now. Already, y'all, to the NBA streets we go. I am going to try to be somewhat quick with this because, again, it is the weekend and we've seen so much NBA. You know how it is this time of year. And this is why I'm kind of happy that we've encapsulated everything into one video for you, because if you're a real one, well, people have noticed how hot the NBA has been. We've had the tracking going for it. It was over 5 units over the course of last week alone. And then we have ridden that really hard here at the start of this week. Might be a bad day on Thursday for the NBA streets, but let's bounce back there here as we head to Charlotte, Sacramento. Sacramento just lost to Washington straight up. And I just really don't want to back Charlotte. That's really what this comes down to. But technically I should. Really don't want to. And you know what? I don't have to do things that I don't want to do, despite what my parents told me when I was growing up. Dad, I don't want to. My dad was actually a pretty good dad, so I don't want to say too much there. Collier, Isaiah Collier, he cashed. That was very nice of him. Over 8.5, closed at 9.5. I expect 9.5. I want to see the VIG, though. I really want to see the VIG. It's another up-tempo spot here for the Pacers. And why do I like Collier so much? Well, Jordan Clarkson, I expected to be out for the season. That news came out. And then Collier, well, he got boosted up, as he should have been at 9.5 already. And now we get a Pacers spot. And he's the one guy, if this game blows out, that still feels pretty good. Pascal Siakam is questionable for Indy. Keep that in mind. Devin Booker heading back to the spot where he put up the 70 piece against the Boston Celtics. He's the only guy out there. Bradley Beal is expected to play. I want to see if he starts or not. That's the main reason we haven't fired any of the alts up, because the props are already out there for Devin Booker, but I don't really want to see. Well, the numbers aren't going to change enough to factor in Bradley Beal starting or not. And plus, usage has to be up for that guy in whatever minutes. I want to see what minutes we could potentially get to. Budenholzer, notoriously terrible at telling us what's going on. Cade Cunningham expected back. He's questionable in the injury report. Toronto on a back-to-back. This is one of those spots where if you're going to play Cade, he's going to be 100% go. Want to see the Toronto injury report on a back-to-back. Speaking of back-to-backs, Portland, I went to Delano Banton. He's had a terrible first 2 games in the starting unit by his standards, but he's chucking the ball. Like, he's absolutely chucking the ball. I'm not actually looking at his second half. I just know he had 5 at halftime coming into that one. I think some alt numbers on Delano Banton against a Bulls team that also notably up in pace. That's something to pay attention to. Cleveland and San Antonio. Mamukelashvili. Yes, that's a mouthful for sure. But Jeremy Sohan out. He's been getting pretty consolidated minutes here in that second unit, and I expect that to continue. And if it blows out, he's been the guy getting like 20, 22 minutes off the bench. He gets it done. Like, he gets a ton of, like, his rebound rate, his usage rate. He had that ridiculously Inferno game where he made like 1,000,000 threes. You know what I'm talking about. And then Flava Flav showed up. We got 2 more lanes. Keep it going. We don't have time for Flavor Flav bits. I'll wear a clock next time. Jokic, triple-double. I just want to see what his triple-double odds are because they're just getting notoriously ridiculous. Plus, Golden State on a back-to-back Denver is not. They should be all rested after their double overtime and then resting everyone and losing. That's a tough two-game stretch there for Denver. And then New Orleans taking on the Lakers. It's going to be an insane point spread, but you might get resting Luka. You might get resting LeBron, and it might be more competitive. Might look at putting Olynyk assist ladder with New Orleans plus the points, whatever it ends up being, and just hoping that it stays close because Olynyk, he's not playing in blowouts. We've seen that be pretty notably Carlo Matkovic. All right, 2 plays. Let's get to it. Let's round out the week strong, friends. Oklahoma City taking on the Houston Rockets. I think this is like my game of the day. Like Denver Golden State is going to be dynamic too. I'm very excited for that. But coming off of the TNT game for Thursday night, we'll see how Golden State performs there. But pretty confident here with OKC and Houston that this number is asinine. In fact, I have a half unit on it. I could have made a case for just having a full unit lock. And what am I talking about, friends? The thing that we've been smashing over the last 3 weeks, and that is totals. Every total we have put down has just absolutely smacked of late. And I expect that to continue here. Well, we'll find out with the Lakers game tonight because I can't say that it happened until it happened. Under 230.5 with the pace metrics of both of these teams. The defense of Houston, and yes, Fred VanVleet was dinged up. We don't know if he's going to be in or out here in this spot, but no matter what, feel very confident with everybody else there. Dylan Brooks, who's suspended for a game, but Amin Thompson, Tari Eason should both be in that starting unit. 2 of the best defenders in the NBA, along with Jabari Smith off the bench. How did he have like 14 boards in the first half last time out? The world may never know. But OKC, they're pretty much back to full strength. Jalen Williams with a Y will be out for this one, backup center, but under 230.5, feel pretty good. Obviously, I'd feel even better if Dylan Brooks was playing, but I think this one is almost worthy of a full unit send. One more NBA play. And this, friends, well, we go from a total to a spread. Dallas plus 6.5 taking on the Clippers. Shout out Anthony Davis. He finally shoved it back in my face. We've been printing with his under rebound props here, and well, didn't print anything last time. Printed a big fat L in the printer. It was basically just a pick 'em play, though. And we cashed the 10x prize picks card on Wednesday, so that's cool. Oh, yeah, what is the play that you ask? Oh, yeah, we're going to the Clipper side of things, friends. Anthony Davis, he's questionable for this game. If he ends up out, this spread is going to move like crazy. Plus, he only got up to 30 minutes. I expected him to play less time. Again, he ended up getting slotted in at the 5 a couple of times, even with Lively back, who, even with Daniel Gafford back, found his way into an outlier rebounding performance, and now he's questionable taking on the Clippers. They got guys who can deal with Anthony Davis at least, Zubats, Kawhi, whomever else. Kawhi, that's kind of a mismatch. Kawhi can guard everybody, if we're being honest. Anthony Davis a lot taller. Hashtag math. Also math, Clippers, I have this closer to 8.5. So there you go. Fire it up, put it in your pipe, smoke it. Let's get to the weekend. And that does it for the Friday end of week edition of NBA Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks and MLB Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks, the combo videos. I appreciate everybody, the kind words, not just because of the results. The results have been nice, but because of the format. Producer Jacob has worked really, really hard, so give him some love on the way out because he deserves it. It's a lot of games. It's a lot of slides. It's a lot of stuff to throw on top of a guy who's got a full-time job. So I just want to give a shout out to producer Jacob. He's going to be gone starting next Friday for 1 week. I got to figure out how the heck I'm going to deal with that. Might be a live show. Might try to find some ways of being able to get you the content over on X. So follow me at Eric Lindquist if you're not already. Would love to see you there. Check out Bet365. We talked about them and Portfolio EV. Lindy 5 if you guys want to check out the Discord as well. Just $5 to try it out for a week. Alrighty, y'all, let's get out of here. I should know my name. I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA and MLB streets on Friday. Happy weekend, y'all.